Okay, time to feed these hungry Steam Deck fans. They don't take no nonsense, and they don't care if the dog hate the homework. What's up, people? Another beautiful day. Yup. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. What? What's up, Steam Deck fans? Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mob, what's happening? And the Steam Deck Squad. So look, okay, so you want a Steam Deck with RGB lighting, right? Okay, look, here's the deal. Every motherboard that's made for devices, for any kind of device, right? They can handle so much power. Like for a desktop, a motherboard can only hold so much electricity. And outside your house, it's AC current, right? AC currents, right? But when the electricity hits the power supply now, the power supply converts it to DC, so the desktop can handle it. And if you and those stripes on the power supply on the cord, it's like +1, +2, +5, plus whatever. So a motherboard can only hold so much. So now, when it comes to the Steam Deck is not exempt from that situation, because the power supply inside the Steam Deck have so much power to it. And then when the electricity hits it, the power supply inside the Steam Deck, the electricity get converted to DC current. And then it's like +1, +2, +3, +4. So if you're trying to do RGB lighting on the Steam Deck, that means Valve would probably have to come up with a better solution, you know, how to do a RGB lighting for the back plate of the Steam Deck, because a motherboard has can only handle so much power. A power supply can only handle so much power, but they got to supply power to the video card, the motherboard, the drive, hard drive, all that. So if you add a RGB light to it, that means you're taking away power from the actual Steam Deck. Listen to this. It says here, don't attempt this RGB Steam Deck mod just yet. This neat mod adds RGB lighting to the back of the Steam Deck, but it can damage the device. Says here, as cool as the Steam Deck look with RGB lighting, you might not want to attempt the mod your device just yet. One Reddit user tried the mod, found that while adding the RGB light doesn't draw a significant amount of power from the battery, it can cause pretty big issues with the Steam Deck motherboard. So that means the motherboard got to be built with RGB support. But anyway, it says here, RGB Deck mod start making the rounds on Reddit earlier this month, with UBBS documenting the process as a fix. A small microcontroller and LED strip to the device. They topped it off with a transparent back from JSOX, allowing the light to shine through the case while the Steam Deck switch on. The end results give the Steam Deck a nice pop of color, and then it says in parentheses, in a very gamer PC kind of way. It says Adam Hounce, the developer behind the source lighting platform OpenRGB, also attempted the mod and even came up with an integration that let users adjust the Steam Deck lighting through the app. However, Hunts has since posted an update on Saturday night, and that advice against trying it, not that it seems to be a significant hurt on the motherboard. According to Hunts, the source of the issue is a tiny component that did not like the added power on the internal USB connection between the motherboard and the controller PCB, where he sourced the 5-volt need to power the RGB light. The piece ended up failing after a few days, causing the light and controller to exhibit some funky behavior before they stopped working together. It's also did some damage to components on the Steam Deck motherboard, which is supposed to cut off 5 volt of power to the controller board when the device is in sleep mode. As explained by Hans, the piece no longer switch the power to the controller when the Steam Deck on standby, causing the device to lose power. We will need to find a new source of 5 volts that can handle the higher current, Hans explained. In other words, the mods just isn't there yet. That's okay. I'm just glad Hans came forward before other modders go breaking their Steam Decks. Hopefully it won't be too long until we see a possible solution. At least Valve decided to incorporate RGB into the Steam Deck by default. Well, look. If you know PC repair, you know that if you know computer repair, you know that a power supply handles a certain amount of power, and the motherboard also handles a certain amount of power. So when the electricity outside your house is AC and then it hits the power supply converts it to DC. And then those little stripe cords on the power supply now, it gives you, it's like +1, +2, +3, +4, and it's for different components within the computer. So the Steam Deck now is the same way. That motherboard can only handle a certain amount of power, and the power supply only can give out so much power to that motherboard. Then that power supply also too, or the battery, gives power to the video card. So if you're going to add RGB lighting, that means the supply within the Steam Deck now power supply within the Steam Deck needs to have more voltage. It needs to be a little bit higher. Also the board now too has to be higher. So if Valve would in order for Valve to do RGB on the Steam Deck, they would have to run they would have to run a lot of tests on the Steam Deck with the RGB lighting and see what the results is. That means the engineer. So I would wait on Valve for this. Wait on Valve to do this. You know, if they decide to make RGB lighting for the Steam Deck. So and then go on from there. But when it comes to a motherboard, you know, whether it's laptop, desktop, or handheld, it can only handle so much power. And if you take away from that power, then the performance may not be the same. You know, so you might lose voltage like it did with the Steam Deck. So when it comes to this RGB situation, Valve will have to come up with probably put a new board, a new board or a new power supply for the Steam Deck, or a new board that can handle a lot of electricity, and probably that way you could probably do the RGB lighting for the Steam Deck. But we'll see what they do from here. But other than that, nice try, modders. I know Valve got you hooked ever since they did that little video teardown showing the back of the Steam Deck. You all got too excited. But anyway, nice try though. But to do RGB, man, you know, that means the volt, you know, the board can only handle so much, and then that little converter thing now got to supply power all over the place. So Valve is gonna have to run some tests on this and see what they can come up with. You know, probably come out with probably on the Steam Deck that they're the newer model Steam Deck, not the Steam Deck 2, but the newer model. Maybe they probably add RGB lighting to it. So we'll see what they do. But this was a nice try though. I know you Steam Deck fans are excited with this thing, having fun with it, trying different things with it. But to do like if you're gonna mod your Steam Deck that way, be prepared to like experience some because if you add RGB to it, that means you're subtracting from the power that's already in the Steam Deck. So be prepared to face some issues when you come up with it. Be prepared to like experience some issues when you try it. You know. But if you took PC repair, if you know computer repair, and if you were reading those books by let's see, who could I think of here? Mike Mears, or Scott Mueller, or who else? Charles Brooks, or Bigelow, or Mark Manassi, with them big old Windows NT server books, or look, if you were reading books on computer repair, it teaches you that about electricity, about how power is supplied. You know, how power runs in a desktop computer, laptops and stuff like that. You know, and like in a desktop, you know, a video card needs its own power. Probably needs 400 watts. You know, it probably needs 400 watts, or you know, or even more, depending on the card. You know, that's why they have them fans on the video card to keep it cool. Then the motherboard needs its own power. The CPU needs its power. You know, the drive in the Blu-ray, CD-ROM, CD rewriter drive, DVD write, DVD rewriter. They all need power. The hard drive need power. So yeah, and those little stripes on the power supplies, like +1, +2, +3, stuff like that. So yeah. You know, power. Every component within a desktop, you know, needs its own power. The same rule applies to a laptop. The same rule applies to the Steam Deck. Steam Deck is not exempt, you know. So yeah. But anyway, nice try though, modders. Nice try. RGB lighting, huh? Glow in the dark Steam Deck, huh? Nice try, modders. Nice try. Anyway, latest video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars Star Trek thing. Poor Dark Side. Go. Peace.